Busters, bringing you another episode. Today we're talking about The Witcher Season 2. As you can see on my shirt and on the game, I'm a huge Witcher fan, especially the third game. I think it's one of the best games ever made. It's amazing, but today we're talking about the Netflix series. So The Witcher Season 2 starts off right where the first season ended. Geralt is teaching Ciri how to be a witcher, and there's a whole Yennefer story and how Nilfgaard captured her, and it becomes a bigger story than we thought of from the first season. But yeah, it's this is like the short summary of the show.
First, I want to say the first season is quite boring for my taste. There is a lot of talking, endlessly talking.
I know, but still,
there's not fight scene enough.
Yeah,
I don't like it at all.
Yeah, I remember
we stopped watching it.
we watched the first season. We watched like the first 4 episodes, and then we stopped. We didn't even finish the show. We stopped. We waited like 2 years. Then the anime movie, the animation movie from Netflix came about the young Vesemir, and it was really interesting. Yes. It was really good, and we thought like, okay, maybe we should give the first season another try. And we watched the entire show, the entire first season, and still the first couple of episodes, 3 or 4 episodes were not the best, but they were okay. They were better than when we first saw them. But the end of the season, like the second half of the first season, became much better. Mm-hmm. And yeah, but for me, for someone who played those games, the third one especially, I played it like 3-4 times. I didn't really like the first season when I first watched it. I didn't connect with it. The actors and the characters didn't fit into me because I had like the entire movie from the perspective of the game. Like the entire show, I was like comparing entirely to the game, and it felt like not as good as it could be. Like because the game is amazing, the story is so impactful.
I think in the first season, it's more like they try this kind of story, that story. They didn't.
There isn't
focus.
One storyline.
They didn't focus on something.
Yeah, Geralt. Every episode, Geralt does something else entirely.
Yes, it's not the focus. It's not on him.
Yeah,
there's a lot of secondary story.
I think the first season is more about Yennefer and Ciri. Yeah, and Ciri.
And you kind of you lose the main reason that you watch it.
You watch it because of Geralt. Yes. Yeah, so I wasn't a big fan of the first season, but there were good parts of it.
Yes, of course.
I liked it, but but it wasn't amazing. But I came with an open mind to the second season, and
but the second season is something
entirely different.
Totally different.
It's much better.
It's a lot better. I think there is a balance.
Yeah,
there is a balance
between story and action
the
scenes and everything. There is balance. Like the pacing, the entire editing of the second season is amazing. It's much better than the first one.
And it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
And think about it. We finish it in a couple of days.
Yeah, 2-3 days. We watch it like every night from like 9 to like 12, 1 in the morning.
And that's it at all. This is
the. And it kind of made me sad, like finishing this season, because this
fast.
season, it felt like entirely fast because we watched it like in 2 days. And
a couple of points in the second season. First, the using of the F word too much. It's kind of fantasy. It's related to old time, very far, very old, and they use the F word. It's like the day that we live today. It's not related. Sorry, you can curse in different.
Yeah, but I don't agree with you. Yeah, sometimes it takes you a bit off when she said like the fire F. There's a firebender in the show, but like it's in the game as well, so it didn't really bother me because there is the use of this word in the game.
I think it's maybe to get the younger watcher more.
I'm not sure. For me, it didn't bother me as much. Sometimes they did use a lot of it in like certain parts of the episode, and then it came like, yeah, it's a bit too much of the use. Just takes you a little bit of the experience, but like it's in the game as well. So for me, it didn't bother me.
Okay. Second, the Yaskir figure.
Yaskir, yeah.
This is too much for me.
Dandelion.
It's kind of annoying. He doesn't know how to sing so much. It's kind of I don't know. It's annoying. It's
Yeah,
an
but
annoying
he's
character.
he's the comic relief
The
of the
comic
show.
relief, but
Yeah.
I think comic relief should be I don't know. It's too much.
Well,
It's supposed
in
to
the
be.
first season, he was much more. He was much more present
Yes,
in the first season. In the second season, he's like in 3 episodes, and like every episode like 10 to 15 minutes. So it didn't really bother me in the second season. In the first season, yeah, he did took a lot from the experience and made it a bit silly, the entire experience of the first season, because it was a lot of it. But like for the second season, his story has something in it. He has a story in the second season. He's not just like Geralt's
Yeah, in the second
companion.
The second season is much more. His acting is much more important.
Yeah, the character itself is like more interesting and has like a bigger role. But for me, this season, like the how can I say it's something really special, because the actors I weren't a big fan of in the first season, most of them. But like in the second season, I can see Henry Cavill as Geralt, and he's great. He has the grittiness that you need for him, and he's interesting. He shows emotions through his eyes. He's not just like angry all the time. He has emotions, and I really like Henry Cavill as Geralt.
Another point, very important. I like to see Geralt practice in the fight scene, before the fight scenes, and also Ciri becoming a much powerful than she ever known.
Yeah. And you see her training in the entire season. Yeah.
And it's good. It's make the character much powerful, much
believable.
Yeah.
Yeah, you believe she's becoming better,
She's
because
not
you see her
just
training.
like that. Take
She's
the
not
sword
powerful,
and fighting
yeah.
and know how to make.
She has powerful magic.
And also Geralt itself. We know it's powerful, Witcher.
Yeah.
But he need to practice also.
I
And
know.
it's very important to
It's
to
something
watch.
really interesting, and I really like it about this show.
It's
like,
reliable things, very reliable things to do. I
like
think.
in the first season as well. I know we compare it a lot to the first season, but like the entire show does show you everyone practice. Even Yennefer failed at the beginning. Geralt is a known Witcher, and he's a pro, so he doesn't need much training, but he's still training. Ciri doesn't know how to use a sword, or she doesn't really know or understand her powers, so they teach her. And I really like the teaching part of this show, because a lot of other shows and movies just forget about it. They just become powerful.
Yeah.
And I really like it about this one. And I also really like Yennefer's story. Like this is gonna be spoilers from now on. So, but other than that, I really like the second season. I think it's amazing. I think it's Netflix. I think it's the best season of the best Netflix show of 2021. Even though I love Midnight Mass, but I think The Witcher is amazing.
The
second season.
It's something else.
Yeah, but like this is gonna be spoilers from now on. So when in the first season, when it ended, you see Yennefer becoming such a powerful witch.
Yeah.
She's so powerful. Like she won the war. She won the fight, the
By
battle.
itself, yeah.
Yeah, by herself. And
But there is a cost to this.
there is a cost. Like in the second season, like at the start of it, she loses her power, her chaos.
Yeah.
And she needs to bring it back. And it's really interesting seeing such a powerful magic, such a powerful witch lose all her power, and you're just like interested in her character alone, not her powers. And it's really interesting, and I really liked it. Like it's something not everybody does. Like take a very powerful character and make him nothing.
Of course, the sound, all the atmosphere, and
The atmosphere sound in this.
you hear them walking on the forest, and you hear the crack of the trees or something.
All the fire, everything, like the fire crackling and the burning, everything is really good.
experience.
Yeah, it's such an experience watching it in Dolby Atmos, and I really love that every episode had like a monster in it, like a different
A different.
kind of monster, and it made it like a Witcher. It made it like the Witcher contracts in the game. Like every episode, there is a big storyline, but every episode has like a different.
Even the
Witcher.
small story inside the big one.
Yeah.
It's something special. Think about in the beginning, we have the curse. They have the curse on him, and he becomes like a pig. And
Yeah, and he has a Broxa with him, and she's like she's eating off his blood, and this is how she survives.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like the small stories in this show is very interesting, and I do love the relationships between all of the kingdoms and how they watch it, and I do really like that they added like it's a bit of in the end, but they showed you like the Wild Hunt, and Dijkstra is in a bit of in the movie, and Francesca and who else? I forgot. They showed really a lot of characters from the games and the books, and it's something like this world is gonna be bigger. Every season makes the world bigger, but it's like it still has a story. It's not convoluted and anything like it. It's really interesting. Like seeing everything happens, and it's still one story, and everybody does their own. Everybody wants Ciri. Everybody wants Ciri.
Everyone after
Nilfgaard, Redania, everyone.
She is a game changer.
Yeah, and you still have like a story that isn't over convoluted or like messy, or you don't understand or you can't follow, and I do appreciate it about this show especially.
So you recommend it?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's amazing what they did. Everything, like the fight scenes.
I couldn't stop watching it.
No.
I want another chapter.
I do have a bit of it's kind of a misfire to me because they don't use a lot of the Witcher signs. He does use the R, the push,
Yeah.
but there is like the Igni. He doesn't really use fire. There's Irden, who
There
slows time, and
just
Quen.
explain. There is a symbol to protect, to defense, offense.
Yeah, but they don't use it as much. Like in the game, you use it all the time, and in the show, he only uses R most of the time, the push, and then he uses like the other signs like.
It's interesting why they don't use it.
So I do hope like in the next season they do use those, because they are really interesting, and they make Geralt feel much more powerful.
So we have to wait, but this is a very recommended series. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I loved it. So does it how can I say it? Does it? Oh my god! This is so embarrassing. Would you recommend it? Like,
Yes, of course. It's
yeah. Do you approve of it?
Prove it. I recommend it. The best.
And do
Watch
you think it will?
I don't know.
It will beat the wife's test, like the girlfriend test. Can your girlfriend or your wife can they see it?
The first season, I don't think so. It's too much philosophical. But the second one, more balance. More people can relate to this.
Okay, that's interesting to see. Yeah, so do give it a watch if you have Netflix. It's a really recommended show. So
That's it.
Thank you so much for watching, and as always, thank you, and we will see you in the next episode.